Hey everybody, it's your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete here, and this is another episode in my horror debate series that I collaborate with my good friend Carlin, where we debate a wide array of topics in the horror genre. So after you watch this video, please go to Carlin's channel if you haven't done so already. I'll have a link in the description down below. Watch his video with the same title, and then if you like, you can go to the community tab on his page and vote for who you thought had the better argument, and there also is a tie option if you feel that way. You don't have to vote. It's all for good fun. Also, what our topic is, let us know what your answer is in the description down below. We both love reading those. You can just cut and paste one and any other. But yeah, we love reading your guys' answers as well. It's a whole lot of fun. So, this week, we are discussing, it's the end of 2023. So, what is the most underrated horror movie that came out in this year? Real quick before I get started, I want to thank everybody that watched my videos and commented the past month for my Funko Pop giveaway. I really appreciated it. I put all the names in the random generator this past weekend, and I pulled out a winner, and it was Miss Sarah. I've already sent you a DM so we can contact each other and figure out I will get you those two Funko Pops. But I was feeling generous, and I gave away a second prize to someone else. And that person was Elena, and I contacted you, and we can get in contact, and I will get your gift out to you. I really appreciate everybody for participating, and I think this is something I will be doing every year, and maybe sometime in 2024 earlier than that. Why not? So, thanks again, everybody. So, Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays, and let's get back to business. So I watched this movie for the first time back in November, and I was blown away. It was actually in a watch party with Carlin and some other friends. It's an Argentinian horror movie from the director Damien Rugna, who also directed 2017's Terrified. My selection for the most underrated horror film of 2023 is When Evil Lurks. This is actually my favorite horror film of 2023 that didn't have a giant atomic lizard in it. Both movies are foreign language films as well. So When Evil Lurks, it's a Shudder original, and I think it's their best film of the year, no doubt. So what truly makes a film underrated? To me, it's a film that doesn't get the praise it truly deserves, and that's why I picked When Evil Lurks. I'm not sure if the fact that this was a foreign language film, sometimes it's a turn off to people, they don't want to watch them, but this movie needs to be talked about more. Now, people are talking about how good this movie, deservedly so. However, you didn't really see any trailers for it, and it didn't get a theatrical run. You know, it debuted on Shudder. Unless you are subscribed to Shudder, you may not even seen a trailer for it. You know, unless you're fairly immersed into the horror genre, like, you know, some of us are, you know, may not have even heard of this film just yet. As I mentioned earlier, the first time I watched this film was a watch party back in November, and I had not watched a trailer or even read a synopsis of what this film was about before I went to go into it. And I think that's a good way to tackle a movie for this first time. It's pretty interesting when you do that. That way you have no expectations. The way the director Damien Rugna creates an atmosphere of just dread and sorrow in this film about an inescapable, unstoppable evil that's spreading throughout this community, he does it so well that it's just palpable. You can almost have like a physical reaction to this film when you're watching it. You know, I'm no stranger to jump scares. They're all over the place in horror movies. But there are two ones in this movie that legit had me calling out, holy shit, what the hell is going on? It was just because I didn't see it coming, and with the way it was executed with the score, it was just, I loved it. It was one of the two best jump scares that's gotten me in, you know, past couple years that I can remember. So when something like that happens when you're watching a movie, it shocks you. And it's really good if a movie can still shock you. I think that says a lot about how good that movie really is. Films that make you feel dread and sorrow can be really impactful for the audience. And that's what you get here with When Evil Lurks, because in this film's universe, there's such things as demons and possession. They're treated like a disease that needs to be like treated and cleansed. So the effects in this movie are excellent. It's practical effects executed in such a way that they appear real, which obviously is the point. But none of the special effects, to me, go too far into the unbelievable. The first time you see this bloated, infected body, it looks real, and it leaves the viewer like, ew. It just makes you feel kind of gross at this grotesque thing you're looking at. And it makes it like more realistic, I should say. So when a movie has like fantastical looking demons and stuff, the viewer knows this is not real. But when you keep like stuff almost plays closer in reality, it's easier for your mind to believe, like, hey, what if this really happened? Could this really happen? I think that increases the scares of a horror movie. I'm going to mention the fantastic score from Pablo Fu. It's just fantastic. It brings you down when it's necessary to the plot, and it'll raise you up again accordingly. And as he does this, the score pulls you into a false sense of security. And then when a scare hits, the music hits you hard, making you feel it. The script, I will mention, can get a little complex at times, but it's done in a way to make you think and question. It lets you figure out how the evil works in the movie on your own, because everything is not given to you on so early in the movie you can really figure out everything that's what's happening. I think this film feels way more than the average possession movie, because there's many of those. Where evil lurks, I think it gives a fresh perspective on a tired trope. Now, there are some disturbing sequences in this movie, and no one is safe from harm. People who live in this movie's universe, no one or nothing is really safe from harm, but it never gets gratuitous or overused. The placement of scares and disturbing parts are paced very well together. I will say, again, the overall pacing in this film is excellent. Damien Rugna, he takes you on this journey, and he never fails to make you feel unsafe or unsure of what to expect, no matter what's going on the screen at the time. There's a scene where there's a discussion of finding apple-flavored ice cream, and that scene just keeps the tension taut with drama the entire time. The acting is fantastic, and I have to call out Ezequiel Rodriguez, his portrayal as Pedro in the film. He shows you this desperate man who just wants to protect his family against this demonic threat that he doesn't know how to deal with. There's tension with his ex-wife and her new husband. But again, nothing is overacted or forced. Everything feels really authentic. And what I like about him is he's flawed. Like all of us, we're flawed, and so is he. He's not your typical hero of the day. He's a flawed man, and to me, that makes him way more relatable than the hero. Especially if you can relate to a character in a movie, I feel it makes it way more impactful on the viewer. I don't have to talk about the ending real quick. I don't want no spoilers, but it has to be one of the grimmest endings of a horror movie that I've seen in a very long time. So in closing, this movie does have rave reviews on Rotten Tomatoes, IMDb, YouTube, which speaks to how great the movie really is. And I think it's unfortunate this movie didn't get a wide release. The average moviegoer is going to miss out on this movie, which is why I feel it's underrated. It was way better than other big budget horror flicks we had this year that I couldn't even sit through watching. I See You, Exorcist Believer, and The Nun 2. Yeah, I think its film is underrated because it deserves a lot more praise than it's already getting. More people to know how excellent this film really is. And yeah, I think it was a good fit for this category. So, thanks for watching. Now please go to Carl's channel, link below, watch his video on the same title, and see what he says. And then if you like to, you can vote on his community tab on his page on who you thought had the better argument. It was a him, myself, or did we have a tie? Also, don't forget to let us know what you think the most underrated horror film of 2023 is. Hope you're doing well, everybody. Take care of yourselves. Happy holidays. Merry Christmas. See you guys next year. But don't forget, I am your friendly neighborhood Uncle Pete. And remember, with great kills, there must also come great nails.